Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the human training your dog is begging for. If you are needing help understanding your dog and their behaviors, you've come to the right place. From training, behavior, and emotional issues to the health and happiness of your dog, our goal is to help you understand your dog better and learn more about creating behaviors you'd like to see more of, and hopefully eliminating some of those nuisance behaviors you'd certainly like to see less. In the end, we hope you and your dog improve your relationship together and you have a dog that's a joy to live with. We're Charles and Laura Countryman, co-founders of Canine Culture Dog Training in Dallas, Texas. As always, we have senior trainer and head of dog evaluations, Wyatt. Good morning.
Good morning.
And lead trainer, Julie.
Good morning.
So on this episode today, guys, we are going to be talking about let's go parking or not. Our dog parks traumatizing your dog. So we'll probably step on a few toes today talking about dog parks. But I think we all know my nickname for dog parks, as we all know, is MMA fight clubs. Why is that, Wyatt?
Because dogs get in fights there.
It's inevitable, right? I mean, not your dog necessarily, but it's almost inevitable that there's going to be a dog fight.
It's hard because it's like getting in a car. We see car crashes all day. Doesn't mean I get in one, but I...
Correct.
I don't know. I've taken my dogs to dog parks. I think I'm the only one here.
You are the only... I was going to use a word that started with I, but I won't. You are the only one at this table, I think, that takes your dogs to dog park.
Never gotten a dog fight at a dog park.
Okay.
It's mostly because I'm very, very observant of who's coming in the dog park next, and my dogs will come back to me whenever I want we leave.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. So there'll be one advocate for the dog park.
We've took our dogs to lots of dog parks. We cannot find one big enough in Dallas to take our dogs to.
White Rock Dog Park is huge.
Well, I have not been there.
We haven't been to that one.
The biggest one in the city.
Yeah.
It's acres.
Oh, that might be a good one.
Yeah, it's
Does it have water?
I know the one over here does.
Yeah, that's too small.
It's too small.
Yeah, that one's too small. What about you, Julie? Are you a dog park fan?
I am not. I'm not a dog park fan at all. But I do think, to add to what Wyatt was saying, is if an owner is going to be quick on like watching what their dog is doing, looking for the behaviors, being mindful of like what dogs are coming in, I think then sure, it can be a good outlet for a dog. But I think for the most part, dog parks, you're just gambling. You just have no idea what is going to be there. There could be dogs there that are territorial, dogs there that have resource guarding issues and suddenly will resource guard the stick that's on the ground and have a problem with their dog. So it's just, to me, it's stress that I don't really want to add to neither myself or my dogs.
Yeah, I don't. That's, I guess, my issue is I don't find it particularly unstressful because I'm like both of you. For it to go well, I have to be on point the whole time. Not watching my dogs. I'm watching all the other dogs, and I'm watching all the other pet owners that are not paying attention to their dogs because I'm looking for all the cues that this dog's not happy. Okay, I call my dog away because that dog's uncomfortable. Some people bring in toys for their dogs. Hey, I'm glad you like to play toys, but there are a lot of dogs that are resource guarded for toys. All of a sudden, they think your dog's toy is their toy. Yeah. That starts a fight. Yeah. A stick, like one of you mentioned, there's a random stick on the ground. Now, all of a sudden, a dog's resource guarding a stick. I find it incredibly stressful because I am just on edge the whole time watching to compensate for people that are not doing their job watching their dog.
And not only that, but like my dog Buddy, he is terrible at reading dogs. He really is. He's such a kind dog that like he doesn't. There literally could be dogs like screaming at him, telling him, "Hey, if you keep getting closer, I'm gonna bite you."
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Oh, okay, we're about to play."
Hey, we're about to play.
So that's the difficult part too, is that not all dogs are able to read each other, and that creates even more chaos to the picture.
Yeah. And you know, of course, it goes with how many dogs are at the dog park. If there's only 2 or 3, then it's pretty easy. Because it's not a busy day. But when all of a sudden 3 more dogs and 2 more dogs, and you know, if it gets too busy, I'm out. I just From my point of view, I've met with too many owners that said their dog used to be dog friendly and then he got beat up at a dog park. And now we are treating that dog for dog aggression because they don't want to get beat up again.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same as taking your dog to daycare.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, doggy daycare.
Doggy daycare is kind of, but at least it's actively managed by a couple people, and obviously you're going to hopefully pick a daycare that they actively manage
way
it.
more sketchy than dog parks because at least most of the time the owners are there with their dog. At a daycare, there's 2 people watching 20 dogs.
That comes back to I find most owners aren't paying attention to their dog. They're on their dang cell phone the whole darn time their dog's playing. There's a few great, awesome dog owners that are engaged and watching and enjoying watching their dog play, but it's the knucklehead dogs that don't have that shouldn't be at a dog park. And they're the owner that isn't watching. Now their dog could be a dog probably good at a dog park if their owner would just help them, manage that energy and guide them. But they're the owner. It typically comes back to the owner, I find.
Oh, yeah.
And also, it seems like it's always the wrong owner that is not paying attention.
Yeah.
Because it's typically an owner that has a dog that really needs to be stared at 24/7.
Right.
That end up, looking at their phones or whatever, or not paying attention.
Yeah.
And then they say the infamous phrase, "It happened out of nowhere."
Yeah,
It's
no, it didn't. The moment your dog walked in, his tail was indicating he was spoiling for a fight, or spoiling to be a bully. Not necessarily a fight. Just some dogs have a pretty strong personality, and they're kind of a bit of a bully, just like some humans. And then they come across the wrong dog. That's like, you ain't gonna be like that to me, and boom, you got a dog fight.
Well, the park I used to go to was one in McKinney, and we went there every weekend for 9 months. Pickles, my bigger dog, loves the dog park more than life itself. That's why we started going, because Abby doesn't really care.
Right.
Abby's there to lick all the people and knock your Starbucks over on the table when she jumps on to lick you.
She could care less about
She
the
could
dogs.
care less about the dog park.
She's there for the people.
Freaking loves it. But the beauty of that dog park is it had the little dog section, the big dog section, and in between that, and you could get out through it too, was a little water area with some fountain things that sprayed, and it was just a little water area. So it was really nice because if you had that jerk dog, you could tell it's coming in. It's having issues. And from my experience, usually it's not Akita walks in, dog fight immediately. There are some signs it's a jerk.
Yeah.
So you got some time. And we would just go to the water park area till that dog left or we were done. And then would go back into the big group or would just go home. So I would personally find dog parks with multiple sections.
That's the key.
So if you're having issues or your dog just isn't getting along with another dog, you don't have to go home. You could just go to the other
side. Yeah. Laura and I were talking about that on the drive-in this morning, that good dog parks have sections.
For that reason.
And obviously most dog parks have 2 sections, one for small dogs, one for big dogs, but a good dog park has 3 or 4 sections. So now, all right, these guys aren't getting along great. We'll just move over to the other section. Maybe your dog's the only one over there right now. Okay, well, maybe a couple other parents will join you there in a minute,
Yeah, or you just want to play fetch with your dog.
Yeah, that's a great spot to play fetch with your dog.
Don't trust your dog fully off leash, but you want to go to a dog park so you can work on it.
I mean, that I understand. Like that I stand for.
So that is what we love about dog parks, is using it for training with your dog. Yeah. And that's a great aspect of dog parks, and one of the reasons why we take dogs that are in training to dog parks, so we can train them outside the dog park, inside the dog park, in a extra
But I feel like that's a trainer perspective or a very expertise owner.
Yeah.
Someone who knows what they're doing. Most people, when they think of the dog park, they really literally think of going in a dog park with 5 to 10 other dogs.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we should discuss then, is the very big difference of when to know what is important for your dog in terms of going to a park just to do something one-on-one and going to a park to actually do socialization, and what socialization should look like, because people, again, they think you have to go in, But you don't.
Right.
Like you said, you can just stand right outside the vents
and just work
let
with
them
teaching
take it
your
in.
dog to see dogs, not react, and teach them how to focus on you.
Yeah.
Because if I can't get my dog's attention in the dog park, I really don't want my dog going in the dog park.
Yeah.
Because I might need to get my dog to look at me because I see an issue about to happen. But if my dog can't do that, then you should do what you just mentioned, Julie. Work your dog outside the dog park.
Well, some dogs are just never
Teach them that skill first.
to be dog park dogs.
And some dogs do not. No, they're never going to be. And unfortunately, there's some owners that so badly want to take their dog to the dog park because they think their dog needs it. No, some dogs literally, they're not into that
it's
at
like
all.
some dogs don't want to be touched by anyone but their one human.
Right. But they're not aggressive.
No, they just don't like it.
But they might nip if you touch because they really don't want you to do that.
They're like an aloof shepherd that just wants to sit in the middle of the room, watch all the exits.
Be part of the activity, but not
I
engage.
Left alone.
Whoopi in a dog park, I feel like he would just fight everybody.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing
Nope.
I found,
Nope.
We have a dog in training with us right
Yes.
now, and he barks at the door. It's one of the things we're working on with him.
The trick is to know.
No.
It's like driving your car. You're gonna probably get in a car crash at some point in your life. It's gonna happen. Almost everyone has gotten in at least one car crash.
Yeah, at least a
trick-
fender bender.
Yeah, the trick is to be confident and not be mentally scarred for the rest of your life.
Right.
It's the same with the dog park. You need to make sure your dog is confident with itself, so it can. Like my dogs have been in a couple tussles. Not a real dog fight, but we
Yeah.
But
They
they
usually
can-
sound worse than they
Oh,
are.
horribly, yeah. But my dogs don't, hate pit bulls for the rest of their life.
Right.
Because the bully got in a little tussle with my husky, and it was just an issue. We left. But he just went, oh, that one's kind of a jerk. The rest are fine. You just can't throw a puppy into a dog park and expect it to go well.
Yeah, I would be careful with puppies.
Or a rescue.
Because,
Rescues would be the
They'll be
other
scarred.
big one.
Yeah, because you could traumatize your puppy, especially if it's during one of its fear periods.
Yeah.
With puppies, take it one at a time until you know, okay, he's into dogs.
Do play dates.
Yes,
Do
much
play
better.
dates
I like
much
play dates.
more than dog parks. Dogs parks where you're like, I've got a pretty bulletproof dog, and it will listen to me pretty much no matter what. I can go to dog parks now.
Yeah.
Because my Pickles, we didn't go to a dog park right off the rip. It took us like 5 months of training before
You
finally
took him.
went in
Yeah.
there.
And if you do like dog parks, then, you should, I think, really make an effort to realize what temperament and breeds of dogs does your dog like to play with. Is your dog one of them, if you got hair, I want to play with you? Or is your dog, hey, I like the mellow dogs? Or is your dog over the top hard player? And that's the kind of dogs he likes to play with. If that's the case, then now you're looking at, okay, what kind of dogs are here? What's the energy? Read the room, read the park.
Pretty much.
What's the energy? Is my dog out of alignment with the energy of this park? Then that would be a good time to just go for a good walk with your dog and play with your dog.
There's almost always a nice, human park around the dog park.
Yeah.
You could go for a nice walk till 2 or 3
Just
of those
play.
dogs leave,
Yep.
and then you can
And
go
then
to
come
the dog
back.
park.
And it's not necessarily that those dogs that are in there are bad dogs. They're the wrong energy for your dog, or your dog's the wrong energy for that dog. But, same. You got to know the energy. Most dogs have a certain kind of energy they just don't gel with, right?
Yeah.
But then there's some dogs that get along with just anybody. They'll play as aggressive as a dog wants to, or as mild as a dog wants to. It's knowing your dog, right?
That is correct.
And not forcing it.
I
If you feel any kind of way, just don't go.
yeah.
If you feel any kind of bad juju, any kind of that dog's kind of looking at my dog, kind of funny through
Give them
the
a little
fence,
stink eye or whatever.
Yeah, just go to a different section of the park, go for a walk, let them leave, then go into the dog park.
Right. And if there is a dog fight, and if it was just a little scuffle, you're probably all right. But if it's a pretty good one, I'm leaving after that
100%.
because all the dog's state of arousal is now up. It's kind of a recipe for disaster after that. It's like a mob mentality, so to speak.
Well,
you're
and
probably
then
going to have another dog
if
fight.
it's your dog that started it and it got that bad, I would want to leave anyway.
Yeah,
Give
of
that
course.
dog the space it
Yeah,
needs.
yeah. If your dog started, then
Yeah.
that's a consequence of bad behavior. You need to leave. But yeah, if there's a big dust up, yeah, I'm not going to like run out, but I'm going to leave because I know that's going to last.
Nope.
That energy is going to last for a little bit, and it's likely another dust-up's about to happen.
Yeah.
So,
How do you pick a good dog park?
how do you pick a good
If
dog
you're
park?
going to a dog park, what is the criteria?
Big.
Big, okay.
A dinky little dog park. Like my first apartment here in Texas, their dog park was a joke.
Yeah.
It had 4-foot fence all the way around it. It was like a 20 by 20. It was
That's really a potty area, not a park.
It was like the apartment complex did it to say they had a dog park, but not actually have one. I never went to that.
Yeah, dogs, do better with escape options. They would prefer to avoid a fight. So if something's happening, they'll take themselves out of the equation. Too small of a park, you've taken away their options for escape. So now fight or flight. Well, flight's been removed from the equation. They only have fight left. So the bigger the park, typically the less fights you're going to see.
I found a park with multiple sections.
And then multiple sections, at least 3, 4 would be great.
Dog, big dog, and some kind of sections for the big dogs.
Yep.
Multiple.
They should be closed at least once a week so they clean the thing.
Well, if you got like 4 or 5 or 6 sections, one section is always closed, and then they rotate that.
Yeah.
Because they're letting the grass heal, they're cleaning it, so they're constantly. That's why I like really big dog parks with several sections because I know they're cleaning it because there's always one section you're just not allowed to go into.
The pee and poop isn't concentrated on one little.
Yeah.
Even if they're trying to clean it, that is a lot.
It's a lot.
Especially at the apartment complex dog parks that are tiny and everyone walks their dog there. It is just concentrate diseases.
So make sure your dog has all their vaccinations, of course, because that is how dogs get
That is also
sick.
the fear of dog parks is you have no idea who's vaccinated.
Yeah, they can get giardia if there's a, standing water that's icky. Don't let them eat poop, obviously. That's kind of the basics. Make sure your dog's got all their vaccinations. I like, if I'm going to play toys with my dog, I do it outside the dog park.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
100%.
play with my dog's toys in a dog park because I don't know which dog is all of a sudden just going to decide this is my toy, and now my dog's like, that's my toy, and I don't know how that's going to go.
Some dogs get triggered with movement, so it might not even want your toy. Just the movement of running.
They
want to help.
Yeah, so now all of a sudden prey drive kicked in. Wasn't really aggressive. It's just one thing led to another, and now we've got a little bit of an out of control situation.
Or you have a herding dog that's trying to hurt a dog, and the other dog did not like that.
No.
Yeah.
Because some herding dogs take it way too. They nip them like they would nip a cow.
Right.
That hurts. That is not a fun experience.
Well, like Georgie will run and he will roll dogs.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he likes to roll
Roll
them.
dogs.
He loves to chase dogs.
He chases them and
Chest
rolls them.
bumps them and they roll.
And then roll them over when they're running.
Yeah. What should you do at a dog park? Now we know what you shouldn't do.
roam. Stay off your phone and slowly.
Yeah, just walk. You should be moving too.
Yeah.
You should be walking.
I do a casual walk.
If all the owners were walking around instead of standing in 2 or 3 spots, there would be less fights. Because what happens is the dogs start looking, hey, where's my owner? Hey, where's my owner? They start, you get some dogs that just don't care about their owner at a dog park. They're like, I'm all in it for the park. But most dogs, where'd my owner go? So it's keeping your dog engaged because they never know where you went. That movement of people just walking around the perimeter. If all you did was just slow lap the perimeter,
it's also
that's a great way to.
If your dog gets in a little scuffle about something, and all it would take is you yelling, and they would stop and come back to you.
Right.
But now you're sitting by the front gate, and it's a quarter mile that way, and your dog got in a scuffle by the fence.
You're too far
Good
away.
luck.
Yeah. Yeah, you should stay moving at the dog park.
Or if you see the dog that has no business being in a dog park, walking up, acting like it wants to eat everybody, and the owner's committing to go, and you can be next to your dog to throw a leash on it real quick and leave that dog park.
Good.
Yeah, because again, usually the dog doesn't run in the dog park and immediately get in a fight.
Right.
They get all hyped up and they pick on the weakest dog there or whatever, do their little complex, and then they get in a fight. And you usually have time to leave.
Yeah.
I don't know. My experience, It's like daycare. About 80-90% of the time,
It's
no
fine.
issues.
Right.
It was that 10% that ruin it for everybody. I think we did that for like 8-9 months. We only left, I think, twice because some bullshit dog that had no business being there was going.
We used to take our dogs to George to dog parks years and years ago, and I just remember this one guy. He'd always show up, and his dog. I'm not even going to say the breed because it had nothing to do with the breed. His dog was just a butt. Yeah. He was way too high of energy, but it could have been helped if the owner just would have paid attention. That guy would go straight over to a picnic table, sit on it, and stare at his phone. Yeah. And his dog is out there creating havoc. And after a while, we'd watch, and as soon as he showed up, we're getting ready to leave. Everybody else is leaving. And it's like he is so obtuse, he didn't even realize that virtually everybody left because you just arrived. Yeah. And it doesn't really have to do with, it didn't have a lot to do with his dog because he wasn't engaged. He did not monitor or help.
Yeah, because my Husky Pit, he is very high energy, very rough player. And as long as I say something to him when he gets a little bit too, because he's like a little kid. Yeah. They get a little too excited every once in a while. And no, leave it. Come here. Make him sit for 10 seconds in timeout. Then he goes and plays with a different dog.
Right.
Just some basic management. And they're pretty easy.
And don't let your dog bully another dog.
No.
Don't let your dog mount another dog. This should go without saying, but no, you need to work on mounting skills because there's some dogs that'll straight up cause a fight.
In a dog fight.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault.
Yeah, because that's nothing. That's not sexual. That is total dominance.
Well, it's also if you've got a very again, my Husky is a very dominant dog, and if there's some anxiety dog or a puppy coming in here, you need to make sure your dog doesn't go scar that dog,
right?
By just not fighting them, just being a jerk and dominating.
Yeah, just making it a very unpleasant experience for the younger pup. Another
thing people shouldn't take is very submissive dogs. Dogs that will go and lick any dog's mouth and roll over, show its guts. There's going to be a dog that is going to take advantage of that dog.
Yeah.
So that's not good. I just remember we had a dog just bug.
So what are good ways to end the segment? What are good things that people can use the dog park for training with their dog?
Distract. If the one cool one I found, because there tends to be poop on the ground a bunch, is if you've got a poop eating dog.
Yeah, that's a target-rich environment.
Yeah, it is. You can go work through that. Because usually you got to wait for them to poop, then you got to work around their own poop.
Right.
Yeah.
But if they're not, they're eating other people's poop too, you can do that.
Right. That's a good one.
Socialization.
Yep. I like to just neutral.
Yeah.
To teach the dog to just be neutral. They can, and this is good for the outside the park. Yeah. Just, hey, we're just walking the perimeter and enjoying a walk together. I do not. That doesn't mean you can't look at dogs, but just be neutral. Don't get all crazy excited. Your neutral, calm demeanor is what earns you the ticket inside the dog park. Yeah. Too much energy, we're not ready yet. Yeah. I do. When I'm training with dogs, a lot of work outside the dog park.
Yes.
Just for that reason right there.
Especially if you have a dog that not just wants to eat dogs, but if it loves that dog park more than life itself, go make it do 4 or 5 laps around that dog park before it finally gets back under control doing obedience. Then the reward is we'll go in there.
Then that is the reward. Then you get to go in and play. Yep. And then if your dog acts up,
we'll go right out. We'll do another circle.
Out you go.
And we can go back in. It's all part of the reward system.
And it's okay to a leash on your dog in the dog park.
100%.
Yeah. A lot of people think, when you go to the dog park, try to not let your dog mob every new dog when they come in the gate.
That's a big one, yeah.
That's a big one that sometimes you'll get a whole bunch of friendly dogs and you'll see a dust up right at the gate. And that's because dogs want to, a new guy, and they all want to go say hi. That is overwhelming to the dog just arriving. Yeah. And it makes them feel, unless they know the dogs, and usually you don't, it makes dogs, it's unfair to that dog.
Yeah.
It's unfair to the owner coming in, too, because he don't know your dog. He's like, Just, if your dog's always crowding the new arrivals, then work on recall and work on your dog learning to not do that.
And if you know your dog is going to fail at that, and you see the dog coming, recall your dog before he goes, oh my God, new kid.
Yeah,
Put a
anticipate.
leash on them. So once the dog gets through the gate, and of course there's going to be a couple dogs that go up to him.
Certainly.
And once it kind of mellows out, then take your dog back
Yeah.
off the leash.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to use a leash to offer communication and guidance to your dog in a dog park. And that'd be a great example why when you do that to help your dog not overwhelm the new arrivals
It's
at the gate.
also really good for your dog to learn the leash can get put on me and we're not necessarily going home.
Yes. So if you struggle with getting your dog to come back to you to leave, then do more leash work in the dog park. Put the leash on, walk around for a minute, take the leash off, put the leash on. Yeah. That way you are eliminating putting the leash on as a pre-departure cue.
Yep.
Now it's just, well, I don't know, maybe we're leaving, maybe we're staying, I don't know. Because that is a complaint some people have. Now I'm chasing my dog trying to leave. Yeah. My dog won't come back to me because he knows if I grab the leash, we're leaving.
Pretty much.
Anything else that people could do at the dog park that you can think of?
One thing that you can, on accident, cause a dog fight is collars like prong collars or things that might catch your dog getting stuck to another dog.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Prong collars are the worst about it, but there are some different kinds of collars that could happen.
Yeah.
You have two nicest dogs, best friends in the world. They get stuck to each other, they're going to fight each other.
Yeah.
They panic.
Yeah, if you have a prong, when you get to the dog park, your dog should always have a flat collar on or a slip collar on as well as a backup. But when you get to the dog park, you should take the prong off because dogs bite each other's necks playing. And sometimes, like you said, a dog could bite the prong, get their lower jaw underneath the prong. Oh, yeah. That's painful. And now they're stuck together. You're going to have a dog fight, but it's not even intentional. Neither of them really meant to be fighting.
Or two prong collars hook up to each other.
Oh, yeah. And then they get stuck together.
Yep. It's also, I've seen it happen with my dog a couple times. They'll be playing, that prong collar just fly off.
Yeah.
I don't know how the other dog managed to unhook it.
But it did.
Now it's on the ground, and you can't find it, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had to buy a couple prong collars, and they were gone.
Anything else? I can't think of anything. So, not that I'm opposed to dog parks. I'm just not a big dog park fan.
Just gotta be real safe about it.
Just be diligent. And if somebody's not being diligent about their dog and their dog's being a bit of a nuisance, then say something or leave.
I would just leave.
I just leave.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
I would say
dog
something.
Parks in my life are not worth the
Which is
drama.
probably not good advice.
I'm just gonna leave. I don't. It's not worth that to me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully, if you do or do not take your dog to a dog park, hopefully you'll learn a little bit of things to look for, things not to do, and things that you could do at a dog park that you may not have been doing. If our discussion connected with you, please follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Canine Culture Dog Training DFW is not our handle. What the heck do you call it? I'm having a brain cramp.
It's a handle.
Is it? Okay. All right. For those. Or you could go to our website, k-9culture.com, and click on Contact Us if you have a dog training question or would like to learn more about our training programs. And if you are struggling with anything with your pup, we'd love to help you and your dog with their training journey. Reach out to us, and we'll give you a tour of our training facility and talk about what your goals are and see if we can help you. Next week, we will be talking about making tricks better than the trick. So we're going to be talking about tricks, but do you want your dog to roll over, or do you want your dog to roll over and make everybody laugh? I'm going to leave that as a teaser because it isn't always just about the trick. So there's another teaser. So we're going to be talking about tricks, but how to make the trick even better than the trick itself. So that's next week. And until then, go have fun with your dog.